Is this just like in the thumbnail? I'm missing the hat. Yeah, I got this book, guys. I got this book. This is the Lacrimosa of Dana official novelization of Ys VIII, authorized by Nihon Falcom, one of our favorite video game companies. And I've only read about 40 something pages of it, and it's pretty good so far. I'm gonna give you my first impressions, and the guys from DragonWell Publishing were kind enough to send me a physical copy of it, the one that I'm holding right now. So thank you guys for that, for sending this book to me. Really appreciate it. It's beautiful, it feels beautiful, it reads beautiful, etc. Alright, so yeah. Welcome everybody, thanks for joining. And well, these are my first impressions of this book. Alright, so what can I say about this book that I haven't already said? Nothing. It's bad. Don't buy it, don't read it. I'm kidding. So this is written by Anna Kashina. Anna Kashina apparently somehow got the rights to the game from the writers of the game to write the book and based on it. And it's pretty much literally based on the game. The events of the game are told in this book. To be completely honest, I'm not exactly disappointed with that, but I was looking forward to something more of a spin-off or an alternative ending or route or story, or maybe a prequel or a sequel or something like that, but that would have been too much, right? All these guys could do, including Anna, was probably write the same story as in the game. And like I said, I've only read like 40 something pages, and it's okay, it's good, you know, but I haven't seen anything different except the fact that Adol speaks. Adol, whatever you want to pronounce this guy's name, your beloved red-haired swordsman. He has a personality, he speaks in the game. There's been games in the past where he has spoken, said a few words, and I think he also speaks in the anime, but I haven't seen the anime series. But yeah, I mean, as a fan of the games alone, I was surprised to see that Adol speaks in this game, believe it or not. Yeah, the author had the nerve to put Adol a personality. But, you know, like I said, Nihon Falcom, the developers probably someone supervised this book and gave her a green light to put words into Adol's mouth. Anyway, so yeah, this is the book based on the game. I'm a big fan of the game, and this is coming out in a few days on Wednesday, October 18. And well, let me read you a little bit. This is Ys VIII Lacrimosa of Dana. Is a best-selling video game by Nihon Falcom. Wow, a best-selling video game, huh? Part of the award-winning series Ys that features Adol Christin, a legendary swordsman and adventurer. The game was first released in 2016 and captured the hearts of broad audiences worldwide with its immersive story and gameplay. That is the truth right there. That is exactly what happened. This is the game that popularized the Ys series in the West. It was already big, huge in Japan, but outside of Japan, they were all like hidden gems, obscure games that barely anyone cared about. This game came out and it was a massive success, and now everybody and their mom knows it. Alright, so let me tell you let me read to you. This is the official novelization. First pages, and here's a note from the author that I want to read, guys. I want to read to you guys. She says, Anna Kashina, Lacrimosa of Dana was my first game in the Ys series, and I instantly fell in love with it. Since that day, I have dreamed of writing a novel based on its story and characters. I am very excited to be able to bring this project to life. And she did. The novel is a standalone, self-contained story based directly on the events of the game. I omitted many of the action-based game elements, such as beast raids, secondary side quests, treasure chests, and many monster encounters, to leave more space for character development that sometimes took me beyond what was shown in the game. Followers of the Ys lore have a common understanding that the games in the series are based on the journals written by our hero, Adol Christin. As players, we interpret those stories in our own way. This novel is one interpretation of the events that occurred on the Isle of Seiren, and I hope you enjoy this retelling of the tale. Those who have never played the game can read this book as an independent novel set in a magical world that broadly resembles an alternate version of the Mediterranean region around the early 18th century. The Roman Empire is a dominant force in this world, and places like Greek, Crete, and Rome have direct parallels to historical places. Distances in Ys are measured in Krimeli, and Meli, similar to the kilometers and meters we use. A rich variety of fish in the Gate Sea and the rivers that flow into it include Bole, Sadina, Saman, Rowana, and many others. The world of Ys has 2 moons, but they rise in the sky similarly to ours. Some say that the events of this novel have rewritten known history, setting the world of Ys on a new course that may eventually bring it closer to our own. But this is only an unverified rumor and definitely part of another story. The events described in this book were first recorded in the travelogue of the Gate Sea by Adol Christin, an adventurer who left behind over 100 travelogues and journals waiting to be retold by later generations. Anna Kashina. Yeah, this is great. Yeah, and this is how the book looks inside. Looks really pretty. I like it. Yeah, buy this book. So, is it any good? What's one of my first impressions of this book? Let's put the book right here, actually. Yeah? Yeah, let's put the book right there. And we're listening to Sunshine Coastline, obviously the most popular song of this game, and my personal favorite. I know a lot of you are tired of this song. I don't give a damn. I love it. So, it's 450 something pages long, which is freaking long. And I've only read about 10% of that, 40 something pages. So my first impressions are, first and foremost, and like the author herself said in that little prologue, that note from the author, this book is directly based on the events of the game. So you're basically reading almost as if you were reading the script of the game, but told in her own words. And like she also said, there's room for character development. And she's been developing the characters so far almost identical to the game. But she also took very small liberties so far. I don't know if she takes even more liberties as the story progresses, because I haven't gotten that far. And I don't know how much changed from the game, how different this book is from the game, but so far it's almost identical. The events, the process, everything that happens in the book, in the game, is told here. Obviously not every single detail and conversation Adol has with every single character, but the major events, the important events are there, written in her own words, and it's pretty similar, it's pretty respectful to the events of the game. I like that. You know, it would have pissed me off to read something completely different from the events of the game, unless it was intended, unless it was like on purpose, like something different to tell an alternative story to the game. But yeah, she's been very faithful so far to the game, and I like that. And the way she writes is very simple, yet very professional. It doesn't feel heavy. Not a lot of synonyms or adjectives, or her style is very different from mine. If you guys have read any of my books, I mean, I don't write like this. I may be kind of unprofessional, maybe, or I don't know, maybe I have this weird style, right? But she's the way she writes is like easy to get into, easy to understand. The flow is perfect, the pacing is perfect. You know, it's a very well written book in my opinion so far. and I like it. I like the fact that she's focusing on the events of the game and not making things up. Okay, I respect that, and I'm glad she's doing that so far. So those are my first impressions. A very good book so far. The one minor complaint that I have is that her development and portrayal of the character Laxia is a little bit on the feminist side of things. She makes some feminist remarks in there that are kind of like, okay, but I guess it's alright because Laxia herself is a bit of a feminist in the game. So I'm not too sure about that. That's my one and only complaint, but it's a minor complaint. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Hopefully this book isn't political or politicized in any way. So let's just see. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna keep reading, and eventually I'll be able to talk about the book again once I finish it. And like I said before, Adol speaks. Adol has a personality, but it's an okay personality. Nothing too forceful. Nothing too on one side of the moral. Or, I mean, Adol's personality in the book is like what you would expect Adol to be in the games if he could speak. So I'm okay with that. So far, good book. I recommend it. Coming out in a few days, October 18. And it's awesome. I like it, and I'm definitely gonna keep reading it. That's it. Those are my first impressions of the book, the novelization of Ys VIII, Lacrimosa of Dana by Anna Kashina. And thank you, DragonWell Publishing, for sending this amazing book, physical edition, to me. And that's it.